look at the media description of our team. Half of them are elite players, the other half are wonder kids, and then we've got tireless midfielders, fearless goalkeepers, outrageously good players across the board. Surely, at some point soon, we're going to win this Champions League. It's the 13th season of us being in charge of Queen's Park, and of course we didn't win the Champions League last year, but of course we did win the Cinch Premiership, but we've made a lot of signings to try and make sure that we can win the Champions League this year. I'm going to keep saying it at the start of each video until it happens, because that is our goal. That is the only thing we care about at this point in time, winning the Champions League. It's not happening at this point, but this season could be our year. We have some easy teams to verse, so fingers crossed we do it. Before I go over the transfers first, to strengthen our team, please smash the like button, subscribe if you're new around here, and we're going to celebrate it with 5 likes, because I just like to have a target sometimes. Since last time we saw each other, we've made signings, we've made some sales. Starting off with the sales, we did sell a youngster for 400k. Signings, we've made quite a number of them since last time we saw each other. All of those came before the start of the new season, so let's go over them. Markovic, who's gone out on loan to Rangers for only £4.6 million. This is how you sign players. You find wonder kids and you loan them out. Then we brought in Mart, who again is a bit of a wonder kid, who has gone out for the season to Kilmarnock, where fingers crossed he'll be playing well too. Hasn't started great apparently, but fingers crossed it picks up. Leicester has rejoined the club on a free transfer after finishing his spell at Celtic. And we've picked him up for a free transfer because he accommodates to our homegrown club players for the Champions League, so don't mind having him in the bank account. Then we brought in this man for £7.75 million. Great stats, but still not quite ready to start for us, so going out on loan to Marseille. Next up, we've got Barroso, who looks like a really top-class player. I wanted to loan him out, but instead he stayed at the football club because no one was wanting to loan him because we just bought him. But £38 million is a big fee, but we've had him on our transfer list for ages. We've had an eye on him for ages. He's feeling a bit like one of the best youngsters of all time because he keeps progressing really quickly. So we're trying to train him up on that winger side. We might then turn him into an inverted winger on the left-hand side. But 19 pace is the thing that sticks out to me. This guy could be really special. Already made an appearance for Portugal. Yeah, not starting just yet, but not looking bad at all. Next season, we have made a lot of sales, £186 million worth of sales. You guys know, to keep our finances in check, we need to make a lot of money each season, around about £60 million each season from transfers. And this season might be the first year that we haven't really done that, actually. Bringing in what? 50, 60, 65-ish million pounds, and then another 110 there, so like 175. We're breaking even really on our transfers this season, so we had a lot stored in the bank account last year, so I guess we're cashing on that now. But that does mean we've brought in some decent players, but we'll focus on the sales first. Samuel, who we brought in last year for just £4.5 million, has left for £8 million. We knew we were going to sell him for a profit, and we did exactly that. Next up, Lewis Ferguson, who we had last season as a rotation option, has gone for £1.8 million. He wanted to leave, so we're not going to stand in his way. Note that all of our loans as well, like we're earning a couple million for the payments just to have our loans. It's awesome. It's the best way to make money, and it seems to be working really well. Warts has gone out on loan, another 5-star potential player that will, fingers crossed, come back a better player. £2.5 million for this right back, Jong Min, who we brought in for 2.2, so tiny profit there. Mart has gone out on loan, who I already told you about. Markovic has also gone out on loan, who I've also already told you about. Bunyard has left the club, and I'm a bit sad to see him go, but we had a lot of options in that right wing, left wing position with the new signings, and he kind of, through the process of elimination, was the man that had to go. So a small profit of £9 million, can't complain too much about that, and I expect him to continue tearing it up at Bayer Leverkusen. Next up, another player in that mix of 3 players that we brought in like one big lump and then sold off because profit, £4.5 million worth of profit. And then the last of them, while we're here actually, Diampo, again, nice wee profit, about £6 million there. Cannot complain at all. Not the only sales that we made though. Espana has left the club for £30 million, brought him in for 8.5 and sold him for 30. I just don't think he's that good, so I'm very happy to have sold him. He His stats are average. I just don't know. I don't think he's that good. So very happy to sell him. Nuhanovic, who I do think is good, but not quite as good as the other wingers we have. So we cashed in on him for £40 million, which I think is a great fee after bringing him in for just 10. So we'll absolutely take that and run with it and say goodbye to him, I guess. Next up is Akbis, who I thought could turn into a world-class player. Hasn't quite happened, so we sold him for £14.75 million. Small profit there, but we do have a big fee if he gets sold for a big fee in the future. So that's what we're hoping for. Next up, we loaned up another youngster who actually we bought in. So yeah, I'll tell you about him. We brought him in for £3.3 million. Again, great stats, just not quite ready to start, so I loaned him out to the Spanish League side. Next up, Andre has gone for £10 million. Brought him in for 6.25 last January. So happy to get that kind of fee for him to cash in. Waddle has gone out on loan. Young goalkeeper, hopefully going to improve. This is one of the guys that we signed at the start of the season. That's why I couldn't really remember who he is. Gil has gone out on loan to Sevilla, hoping that he progresses because his stats are really good. He just needs them to be like more well-rounded. Otherwise, I think I'm just going to sell him. So fingers crossed he does well there. And then lots more loans down here. These ones actually we didn't get any fees for because I did them really late, like on deadline day, which was stupid because if I did them earlier, I would have gotten like millions and millions of pounds. But it is what it is. Hanzik has gone to Borussia Dortmund. Belancic, I assume is how you say it. The striker has gone to Hoffenheim. Then Angel, our left back, has gone to Everton, back to the Premier League. Onishi has also gone to Queen's Park. Fingers crossed we get some appearances there. And our young goalkeeper with like amazing potential has gone to Sheffield Wednesday in the Championship, who were just in the Premier League, by the way. Now for the signings. We brought in two free signings here. Great one here, Visser. I can't find a place for him in the team, but his stats are incredible and he comes in on a free. I love what he brings to the table. I just can't find a space for him at the moment. So Visser, welcome to the club. Might be selling you for a profit. McKinstry has returned, which we're absolutely chuffed about. No, he's not going to make many appearances, but yes, we are very happy to have him. He is an icon of the squad, so he is back and qualifies for that Champions League registration. Next up was the youngster that we did end up selling for, loaning out, so £3.3 million there. £64 million for this striker, Luke Gillum. Remember the name because I think he's going to be very good. High wages, and he was playing in the Premier League. Was bought for £21.5 million, after playing for Man City for a couple of seasons, plays for Leicester, and does quite well. I just think his stats are outrageously good. 17 finishing, 16 first touch, 16 dribbling. He's like Kobayashi, but if Kobayashi was more well-rounded. And now, if you can't remember who Kobayashi is that Italian striker that looks great because he's got 17 finishing, 16 first touch, and 18 dribbling, but has nothing else anywhere. But then Gillum does have everything else everywhere. The mentals, the physicals. I think he's going to be world class for us, and he's already scored 2 goals and gotten 1 assist in 3 appearances. He's certainly going to be fighting against Cavalier for that first spot. I haven't guaranteed either of them the first spot, with them both being a squad player. I do think Cavalier might still just have the edge, but I don't know. It'll be about form. I like having the option with 2 world-class strikers. But the last signing that we made, £42 million for an elite centre-back. Not quite considered an elite centre-back in media description, but in terms of my description, absolutely. 16 dribbling, 15 first touch, 16 passing, 17 technique, 19 vision, 17 flair, 16 agility. Across the board, greens and yellows. I do really like my colour scheme, by the way. I think it's the best colour scheme you could possibly have. Huge wage, though. We have never paid a player that much money. If you compare it to our squad, the next highest is 155 for Millwood, and that's only because he whinges all the time if we don't pay him more. So Hernandez, as 23 years of age, he needs to prove himself, but I do really think he is good enough to do it. And the tactic this season has slightly been tweaked. We're still on the 4-3-3 with the CDM, but we are now going for slightly shorter passing, so we'll move that slightly more direct. Still the same in terms of distribution, higher line of engagement, and just stopping the crosses. I find stepping up more has led to us getting out of position in our centre-backs and giving the ball away. This is the team that we're going with for our next game, our first game in the Champions League against Milan, which is a tough game in our first game. But we have beaten them in the past. If you remember 2 seasons ago, we had them in the quarterfinals and we managed to beat them away from home and draw with them at home. So fingers crossed we get that result here in this game. But what I was going to say is that this is not absolutely our best 11. Our best 11 at the moment. Oh, let's show you, this Falkirk game. 11-1 win. And this is what I would describe as our best 11. Cavalier, Millwood or Pina. Pina was out with an injury for a while now. He's just come back. Greg Grant, obviously. Oban. Saleh now in the midfield. And I don't know why I've not been playing him there for the longest time. Left back, yes, he is well suited to be a left back. But I am wasting so much ability by not putting him in the midfield. He has so many incredible stats. I just think it's stupid not to put him there. And we have a left back right now who is one of the best left backs in the world, and I've just been completely ignoring him. His stats are insane too. I just didn't play him last season. He was injured, to be fair, for like the majority of it. But he's come in and he's done really well in this left back spot to start off the year. And I'm going to keep trying to play him there. If it doesn't go well, we can always put Saleh back in there and Hernandez into that position there. But I mean, for now, it works really well. Tillman in that CDM. Kurz has come into the centre-back spot and is actually our top goal scorer with 5 goals and 1 assist from 6 appearances. He is incredible at the moment, and I love what he brings to the table. 4.5-star current ability, 6'5". We knew he was going to be good when we signed him, but I didn't know it was going to be quite this good. Webster keeping his spot. Willens and Dunn, and then a stacked bench of Bata, Langlois, Barroso, then Gaspar, Steele, Brady, Dredge, Kaiki, and that didn't allow for all of the other brilliant players that we have chilling out around the squad that just don't get appearances, like Kobayashi, who is leaving the club in the next transfer window. Langlois is not getting many games. Vissa is not getting many games. Actually, McKinstry, not even on the bench for this one. I'm going to put him on instead of Leicester. Barroso, not even qualified for the Champions League because we have so many spots. And Hernandez wasn't even in the club at that point because we just signed him. Pina wasn't on the bench. Bata coming back from loan, looking like one of the best players in the world. Love what he brings to the table. Cavalier, like it's an insanely stacked team. If we're going to win the Champions League, it's got to be this season, I feel, because I don't think our team has been this deep and this good. Like, I was only loaning out players that I thought weren't going to make it to our squad, and I've just kind of kept everyone out. Like, anyone that I wasn't comfortable with starting, I would loan out, and everyone else, I guess, I kept behind. And also, sorry, this Abai, our Spanish centre-back, great too. I mean, across the board, we're looking incredible, and this is the team that we're going with for the Champions League game. Oh, and we did put deep line playmaker here. I think we had advanced playmaker. No, I think we did have deep line playmaker. Scratch that. Okay, so we've got Gillam. We've got Millwood, Grant, Oban, Saleh, Brady coming into the squad because Brady is obviously one of the best players in the world as well, but unfortunately doesn't get a lot of time, so Tillman has dropped to the bench. Then we've got, I need to find a way to say his name. Turkish left back, I guess, is the best way to name him right now, which is a little bit rude. I could find a way to, but those are difficult names, let's be honest here. Kaiki, then Webster, Dredge, and Dunn. Willens on the bench because of just trying to get Dredge some game time because he is quite good as well. And let's jump into this first game. Fingers crossed we get a result because we need to start off the Champions League well. As you know, last season we got knocked out in the round of 16 by Real Madrid, and I'm putting that down to the fact that we didn't get into the top 8. So we had a tough round of 16 game instead of versing those teams down in the 9th, 24th place. So if we can get into the top 8 again this season, I don't see any reason why we won't be going all the way to the semi-final, potentially to the final. Fingers crossed we can do exactly that. Greg Grant is playing with a very, very low stamina because he's just come back from an injury, but I need Greg Grant for these kinds of games, and I knew I was going to take him off at halftime, so I'm just keeping him in there for like a short stint. Hope he does well in the first half. But as things stand, nothing is really happening, but we are having the shots. They've had 0. They've got more position than us, though, so I guess the pendulum could swing at any point in time. But here is Greg Grant with the throw-in. Don't know why he takes the throw-ins, but anyway, I definitely could change that, but that's all right. Webster, and it comes to Oban, and Oban sticks it into the back of the net. He is a hugely underrated player. Remember last season in the season awards, he wasn't even in the top 3 for the competition. They ranked them. Greg Grant won it, and Greg Grant deserved to win it. But then Oban wasn't even in the top 3, and he made 30 goal contributions last year. He's outrageous. He's on another level, and he's getting a lot of interest, as all of our players are always getting from other clubs. And Kaiki, actually, to be fair, is a player I'd be happy to sell. But here is Millwood, actually. Makes it 2-0, and I feel like he was onside, and I feel like we might be winning this game now, which would be a huge statement to start off. Yes, it is a goal, our Champions League season. And this is one of our harder games. Like, we have been hugely niced up by the draw this year for the Champions League. I think last year got quite a challenging run of fixtures, but this season we just seem to have gotten more average teams than really good teams, still also turning into a hugely influential and just good player at this point in time. So we're playing him a lot now, so we're at least trying to integrate him into the squad a little bit more. What was I going to say? Oh, that's what I was going to say. Sorry, I got a phone call and it distracted me for a second there. Tottenham, so there's obviously a bit tough. But then we've got Genk, then we've got Nacional de Madeira, who is a Portuguese side team, which is tough, Bayer Leverkusen, which is tough, and then Lugano, and then SK Rapid. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 games that I think are guaranteed wins. One that looks like we're going to win. Another one that is a bit tough, to be fair. One that is very tough because I think they went to the final last season, lost to RB Leipzig, Leipzig holding the title. And another tough one. But like that's a 50-50 ratio. Last year we were certainly not 50-50. I think we had just as many difficult games. Sorry, about 6 difficult games and 2 like really easy ones. Just making sure I did actually make that substitute. Sorry, that phone call is absolutely throwing me off. I think it was a mistake. I got a phone call for like 30 seconds and then it went away. Not 30 seconds. 30 seconds would be a normal amount of time for your phone to be ringing. I think maybe 10 seconds. But anyway, sorry. We'll continue on. Brady. No, actually not even 10 seconds. Maybe like a couple of 5 seconds. 5 seconds. 5 seconds? That feels like a mistake. But anyway, Gillum nearly scoring there. Doesn't score. And he was offside. So Cavalier is definitely licking his lips thinking, ooh, I might be coming into the starting lineup if he keeps missing. But Dunn makes a good save there, actually. The highlight could continue, in fact. That was a very comfortable save for him, and often when that happens, it leads to a continuation, and it might be continuing our way as Brady plays it into Oban, who has been outrageous today, and finds Gillum. Is he onside? I don't know if he is. I think he could have just strayed off. Let's have a look, though. It'll be tight, but I think he did slightly go beforehand. No, it's a goal. Get in. It's his first goal in the Champions League for us. I'm pretty sure Leicester played in the Champions League with Gillum. Leicester have definitely been in the Champions League because I remember pointing it out because we versed them in the group stage draw. But I assume he was in the team at that point in time. But he scores again in the Champions League. Let's assume he scored before. And we're just going to try and do damage limitation to make sure our players don't get absolutely shattered, because I feel like this win is locked in. So Millwood's going to come off and Pina is going to come on. As I said, just coming back from an injury, so his match sharpness is hugely down, so it will be a great opportunity for him to get that back up. Everyone playing well in the ratings, apart from Kaiki and a left back from Turkey, who, I back them both. They're not conceding goals at this point in time. Kaiki was the one that was kind of making mistakes last year, but you still look at his stats, and I think he'll be okay as a rotation option, but I think Kurz is definitely better. And I've always preferred Webster, to be honest. Webster, even when we signed him, was like an outrageous deal and such a good player. Gaspar nearly scoring there off the bench. Saler looking a bit tired, so at the 80-minute mark, I might bring him off and one more player just to give him a bit of a rotation, a bit of a rest to make sure we don't pick up any injuries, because the writing's on the wall here. We've won this game. I think potentially moving down to this positive mentality could have made a big difference. I don't know if I'm making a mountain out of a molehill there, but I don't know. We're doing well. That's all that matters. Let's get Bartra on for the last couple of minutes. For the last couple of minutes. He'll enjoy a bit of a run out in the Champions League. And we've kept them to one shot. Now, this is not some chumps. This is AC Milan, who I believe have won the Serie A for the last couple of seasons. May have dropped it last year, but let's have a look, because we've just annihilated them. We've taken them to our home pitch and we've absolutely strolled them through the park, walked them out of the stadium, and just said thank you for the 3 points in the Champions League to start the season off. Klopp is their manager. How did they do last year? They're first at the moment. They've won for the last since 2030. Sorry. A good performance to say the least. Wow, that starts our Champions League season off well, and I guess the Cinch Premiership season has started off brilliantly too. Didn't start off brilliantly with a 1-1 draw to Dundee. I was very annoyed by that, but bounced back. Wins across the board since then, and we're coming up against Tottenham very soon, and we'll come back at the end of the January transfer window, see how everything's going, and fingers crossed we're going to the later stages of the Champions League in the top 8. This may be the season that we end the save. This may be the season that we win the Champions League. Finally, the world sees what I've seen for years. We have the best player. Greg Grant has won the Ballon d'Or. And last time he came second in it, I didn't make that big of a deal out of it because I just thought World Golden Ball was some arbitrary football manager thing. But no, I googled it. It's the Ballon d'Or. And he's won it. Behind him was Jimenez and, of course, Sanchez. So at one point, we had 2 out of the 3 best players in the world, and actually that is echoed by the rest of the awards. The World Player of the Year, which I assume is the FIFA one, and I've heard, I think, based upon my research, is the FIFA one. Greg Grant won that too. Came second. Jude Bellingham, I can finally say my words, won it. Greg Grant second, and then Footballer of the Year. One of these is the FIFA one. One of them is like the writers one, apparently. He came third in that one too, and Bellingham won. And in terms of the World Team of the Year, well, Greg Grant only made the bench, but you know who else made the bench? Oben Salk, who hasn't made it before and has finally made it now, but has just left the club in the January transfer window. And I guess that's what we're going to go over. The things that we've done and what has happened since last time we saw each other, and why we ended up selling Oben, one of our best players. Not chuffed about it, but it is what it is. So, since last time we saw each other, this has been probably the most successful season we've ever had. Starting with the Cinch Premiership, we haven't lost a game. We've drawn 3, and they were just 0-1 all draws, 2 against Dundee, apparently. Just average games. I mean, no insane, like, top goal scorers. I mean, assists for Oben have been insane, but obviously he's gone. It's just an overall very good season. Champions League, though, again, an overall incredible season. I know we did get very, very nice with the teams that we were versing, but we ended up finishing in second place. That's the highest finish we've ever had, just behind Real Madrid. And in terms of our results, the only red you see is a 2-1 loss away from home against Inter. And I mean, you can't really expect us to be winning those games all the time, especially with such a congested fixture list just after versing Rangers. Like, if that happened in the knockout stages, I wouldn't be stoked, but I'd be like, I mean, hopefully we get it back in the reverse fixture. And then apart from that, we won every single Champions League game, I'm pretty certain. Yes, I'm correct, which is ridiculous because we versed AC Milan, Tottenham, Genk, obviously you'd expect, and then the Portuguese side, but then Bayer Leverkusen, we slapped up, and they have a lot of players that used to play for our team who were sold because they weren't quite of the standard of our team. Suarez, Samuel, Bunyard, and I know they have... I was going to say... I swear they have Nadinic. No, that's Sevilla. I'm getting them confused with Sevilla. But anyway, still, three former players did nothing in the game. We have been dominant in general, and as a result... we've made a lot of transfers. Yes, I know that sounds counterproductive. None of these transfers were super forced. No. I misspoke there. I don't know where I was going with that. A lot of these transfers were super forced. So kind of reacting to that. And then having a huge budget at one point, £114 million worth of finance. Even now, £50 million in the bank. Ignore the transfer budget. We always ignore the transfer budget. It's how much we actually have in the balance is how much we're willing to spend. And this season... we've managed to spend quite a bit, And let's take a look at who we brought in. But starting with who we sold in the January transfer window, it started off with us getting rid of Kobayashi, which we already knew was going to happen. £25 million. Very happy to take that fee. A youngster left the club for £44,000. A big sale of Visser for £40 million, which I'm stoked with considering we bought him in on a free. Didn't play him once in the league and sold him for 40 mil. Great deal for us. Cannot complain about that. We're going to continue to do that with free signings. And then Oben Salk has left the club. And I think I've only just started saying his last name correct. Boys and girls, £115 million is about a £30 million profit, which is, nothing to be too disheartened by. However, he was in the middle of his best season yet. 6 goals, 15 assists, and then in the Champions League too, 4 goals, 6 assists. This man had been tearing it up. However, he was going to get unhappy if we didn't accept the Leeds offer, and normally I'd just shrug it off and go, harden up, you're fine. Like, you could still see so many of our players are unhappy and wanting to leave, Greg Grant being one of them. I was like, but I always have a price. I always negotiate. I always see what I can get, and I feel like if we get a huge fee, I can accept selling them. And with Salk, it kind of was £100 million-ish, so I got a bonus 15 mil. Just thought, in real life they wouldn't say no to this. In real life, I'm not going to say no to this either. He has got a player of the match performance in his Premier League game so far. No goals, no assists though, but I'm gutted to see him go. But it does give an opportunity for some more youngsters to play in that wing position. We didn't feel the need to make any replacements, as you'll see soon, in that direct position. In fact, we sold another player in that position. It's Langlos, who was never insane for us. £40 million we sold him for, £35 million we brought him in for. I was happy to just break even, because honestly, I thought he wasn't that great of a signing. I think his stats don't suggest he's an elite winger with a worldwide reputation. I think he's very average. His performances were fine, but he wasn't. He was never going to turn into the player that was going to replace Oben, was he? So just sold him. And then the last one, another one I'm hugely gutted about, and one that was quite forced, even more forced than the Oben one actually, is Kaiki. He's left the club for £60 million. I think that's a really good fee to get when you consider that he was running down his contract. He had not come up to me yet and said, I'm considering options at the end of my contract, but his contract was expiring at the end of 2037. And just like Baptiste and Willens, I started to feel very, very concerned that we were just going to get rid of him on a free transfer, because I like Cavalier and Willens. He was just completely unwilling. Oh, we are negotiating. We are negotiating right now for Willens. I did not know that I had the opportunity to do that. Okay. Well, that's great news. Yep, you can have that. 5 years. Well, that's very good news. But Kaiki was not willing to renegotiate, and he hadn't been for about a year. So I thought selling him was the right thing to do. Got 60 mil, very happy with that fee. It meant that we can reinvest in a new centre-back, which is exactly what we have done, but starting with the rest of the signings. We did bring in a youngster for £2.9 million. Very, very good youngster. Even though this could be one of the last seasons of the save, I can't help myself. If there's a wonder kid for 2.9, I'm going to sign them. Next up, £13 million for Trotman, who has come in as a bit of a profitable transaction, I feel. Like, we signed him for £13 million. It could eventually rise to 22. I'm not going to let it get to 22. I've paid £13 million for this man in full intent to then sell him on for like £30 million in 1 or 2 seasons, if that. So Trotman, he's good. He's a fair rotation player, but he was just a bargain. I was like, I'll bring him in. If he develops, he develops. If he doesn't, he doesn't. He's not going to start. He's probably not going to be on the bench very much, but I'll take it. Next up, Mohamed, boys and girls. You remember him? I hope you remember him, because he was great. He was an incredible player for us. He was the backup behind Greg Grant for a long time. And in fact, I remember thinking, why on earth does this guy not get more interest, more bids from other clubs? Why am I not starting him, in fact? Because his stats are really good. 16 dribbling, 16 finishing, 18 flair, 16 off the ball, 17 technique, 14 vision. Like, really good general stats. And we sold him if you remember, we brought him in for £19 million from Galatasaray. He played really well for 2 seasons for us. Then we sold him to Barcelona for £48 million, a fee that we just couldn't say no to. And now we've brought him back for £16 million, less than we initially paid Galatasaray for him. And he's in the prime of his career. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to start. I'm not even saying he's going to get on the bench, to be honest. But Mohamed, he's back. And I mean, again, I've done a lot of it in the future, so if we do sell him for a profit, I'm fine with that too. Welcome back, Mohamed, and I've even been able to give him the same number 15. And these last 2 signings, huge signings for us. I'm going to start with the big one. Hassan has joined the club. I have no idea how to say his last name. He is a Belgian. Oh, he's not even considered an elite centre-back. Just a worldwide reputation centre-back. £175,000 per week is a lot of money. His stats are so outrageous. If you compare him with Webster, who, by the way, we consider to be like an outrageously good centre-back, it's a little bit... Well, that one doesn't make it look night and day. But here, it looks night and day. Like, he's just kind of better in most areas. Yes, decisions, determination, flair, and leadership in that wee mentals area does look like a wee bit of a hump. Determination would be nice to be a wee bit higher. And the balance and jumping reach isn't ideal either. But I mean, I just think he's so much better. He's a huge upgrade in my opinion. 6'1" as well. 17 stamina, 16 tackling. He's had a reputation for a long time of being an incredible player that we should sign. I just thought I'd finally bite the bullet and actually sign him. But as you can see, he's been tearing it up for Brighton for years in the Premier League, getting a 6.98 rating, and currently Brighton are down in 13th. So to get that kind of rating with that team is actually quite impressive. I think he comes in as potentially our best centre-back. World class, unlikely to improve. I mean, I'm not going to whinge. I'm not going to whinge. £85 million as well. He's immediately gone up in value. Welcome to the club, Hassan, a new starting centre-back to compete. I think it's got to be Kurtz in him. It really does have to be Kurtz in him. Sorry, I'm not calling him Kurtz by mistake. Because he's 6'5". He scored so many goals this year. 9 goals from corners. I mean, it's just got to be that combo. Webster is being kicked out, and I love Webster, as you guys know. But our last one is a man named Paulo Favoretto. Favoretto seems way easier to say. Favoretto comes into the club for just £60 million, which it is actually, I'm saying just, but it's quite a big fee. But he has really good potential and a really good current ability. Very good stats, like 18 passing, 16 technique, 17 first touch. He is a very similar player to that deep line playmaker sort of player that we often lean towards at this club. You know, like, he gives me Eden Nilsson vibes. Like, if we actually compare him to Eden Nilsson, who, by the way, actually doing quite well at Real Madrid, you know, continuing to get goals, get assists for them, high average rating. But let's compare him, just for argument's sake. A new man, Favoretto. I mean, the mentals aren't there because obviously Eden Nilsson is quite a bit older, but the technicals are really similar. And you have to say, to have a youngster for this kind of price, it's not bad at all. So he's going to come in, again, not as a starter, but as a reserve substitute option. And it's kind of like, who do I kick out at this point? I think Keith Steele is overdue getting a run in the team. He is absolutely overdue getting a chance. But like 18 finishing, and I'm not starting him. And I'm thinking not even benching him. Like, I don't know. Millwood's got to stay too. Like, he's not going anywhere. Gaspar's the one that I think maybe, but he just plays so well. He's got that sort of intangible incredibleness. But then, like, Hernandez is another one that should be starting. Like, you can tell we don't have problems in depth at this squad with this club. I really don't know. It's the first year that I've ever thought maybe a 4-3-3, 4-1-2-1-2 diamond might be the way to go. Because our wingers are now kind of like our weaker position. And Pina can play up top as well. Greg Grant can play up top. Barroso is coming into the team, which I'm actually quite stoked about because his stats are continuing to develop. And I do think having this physical ability might just make him insane. I mean, those physicals are near perfect. Jumping reach obviously isn't crucial for his position. they're near perfect. I just think he might tear the world up if we give him the chance to start. So I'm going to keep it like this for now, for sure. But, mate, I can't just leave this guy on the bench. I think it's going to be Gaspar, who has been knocking on the door of starting for a couple of seasons, and I've been saying for a couple of seasons, probably deserves to start. But I don't know, Steele deserves his chance too. I don't know. It's off-camera Rexo decisions to make. But I think that might be the way I'm going to go. The only thing is Hernandez is a very similar player to our new signing. I cannot remember his name. Favaretto. And Hernandez is just a way better version. But I don't know, 60 mil, can't complain. It's a good option. And Brady, Favaretto. It should Favaretto, mate. I don't know. I haven't made a decision yet, boys and girls. But anyway, those are the signings that were made. That's the position that we're in. We are now continuing with that format where we don't actually play a game at this part of the episode, but we just, continue simulating ahead. And then we come back at some point during an important point in the Champions League. Fingers crossed we don't get drawn an outrageously difficult team. If we could avoid Tottenham, Bayern, and PSG and AC Milan, I would be happy. That's all I can ask. Oh, and RB Leipzig. RB Leipzig won it last year. Maybe avoid RB Leipzig too. Okay. That was a good voice crack, but okay. No, there is a lot of teams we would like to avoid. But we'll find out very soon. Can we do it without Oban? I think we can. But, we've certainly made it challenging for us. But, as I said, it's a stacked team, isn't it? It's good enough to win the Champions League. Fingers crossed, we draw a good team. We shouldn't have to draw a good team. We're a good team anyway. We have made it to the semi-final of the Champions League for the second time ever. And as you can see, we beat Barcelona by 1 goal in the quarterfinal. But currently, we are losing to Bayern Munich 2-1 on aggregate. So let's go over what has happened since last time we saw each other. As you can see in the league, smashing it up. Still not a single loss this season. Let's quickly touch on that. We are champions. I just don't even bother to let you know about it. 99 points, 3 draws, 32 wins. Greg Grant winning the top goal scorer. League sorted. Good. Hopefully we go undefeated with only, 3 games to go. That would be lovely. Absolutely lovely. However, the Champions League is what we care about. First game against Barcelona. We lost 3-2 away from home, but we were really in the game. So I backed ourselves to manage to come away with a decent result at home, and I was exactly right. We walked over them. We were so comfortable. 19 shots to their 3, and we ended up with 2 goals. 1 from Greg Grant from the penalty spot. Despite the fact that earlier on, what was it? I want to say, it was right around that time. But Greg Grant missed 2 penalties in 1 game, which was ridiculous. I cannot seem to find the game. But then he ended up missing 1 against, it was all the way back at Leipzig, actually. Yeah, Greg Grant missed 2 penalties and 1 penalty in that game. And then it must have been the Hibernian game or maybe the Livingston game where Greg managed to miss some penalties. Now I've actually completely forgotten now. But Greg is starting to make me nervous about his penalty taking ability because he has missed a couple recently. However, it was this. Missed a penalty. Yeah, okay. However, we're fine. We're sorted. We're just not fine in terms of this Bayern situation. 2-1 loss at home. However, we did play better. We scored 3 goals, ruled out for offside, higher XG, more shots, less possession, but I don't think that's always the way we play. Barroso just played an outrageously good game. That man is playing very well on this right-hand side. And we're going to continue with this same formation and same mentality in the hopes that we manage to just creep up and beat them, because if we outplay them in the last game, the only difference here is that we're away from home. We have other formations and tactics that we can use, slightly deeper one or slightly more attacking one, but it's all variations of the 4-3-3, because if it ain't broke, we're not going to fix it. I have forgot to mention, actually, by the way, we did end up getting drawn RB Leipzig, who won the Champions League last year, and smashed them in the home and away. I thought we were going to get knocked out immediately, but round of 16 was a walk in the park, so haven't even touched on that. We've beaten the champions. Surely we're good enough to win this Champions League. Fingers crossed we can beat Bayern, who, by the way, are second in the league behind RB Leipzig. So surely we can come away with a result. The starting lineup in today's game: Cavalier, Pina, Grant, Barroso, Saleh, Tillman, it is our left back from Turkey, Kurz Webster. I've started to drop this guy, Hassan. I mean, he's good. But I just don't think Webster actually did anything to be dropped. Webster is outrageously good too. Let's not just, throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like it's. I just don't think he actually deserved to be dropped. So he's back in the starting 11 and he's been playing well. So, if he messes up, Hassan is right there to come into the team. And then in terms of the striker situation, Gillam and Cavalier I cannot pick. They're both quite good. So it is sort of just what I feel like on the day. And right now, 7 goals in the Champions League for Cavalier in comparison to 7 goals in the Champions League for Gillam. Well, Cavalier's starting it. Let's jump into it and let's hope we come away with the result that we're desiring. If we do win it, we would be versing Inter, who beat Manchester City 2-1 on aggregate in their semi-final double-legger. But can we win it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if who's in the final if we're not in it, realistically, boys and girls. Another season would be gut-wrenching, but we're certainly there. Like we just need one lucky year where we win the semi-final, we win the quarter-final, go to the final, and hopefully win the entire thing. These shirts are very similar, but a chance looks like it could be coming our way to start things off. An early goal would be incredibly good to settle nerves. Saleh into Cavalier. Was he the right person to... He was the right person to start. And I actually think he's onside. I'll tell you what, 3 goals ruled out. Are we going to get a 4th? We are not. 1-0 in just the first minute and 30 seconds... We've managed to put it into the back of the net and make it 2-2 on aggregate. We could be going... I'm going to say it quietly. We could be going to the Champions League final, boys and girls. And Barroso taking a shot that has led to a corner, which is now, I imagine, the actual highlight. And we are dominant from corners. Hertz has scored a lot this season. Doesn't quite win it there, but wins the knockdown. Does come out for another corner. I'm starting to think maybe there was a wee glitch going on there, and the Barroso chance was the real highlight, and we're just seeing corners for the sake of seeing corners as they keep bouncing around the box, and eventually this highlight is going to end there. It is a good start, to say the least. 2 highlights, both coming our way, one of them being a goal, but this is a Bayern Munich side that apparently aren't too bad. We know that from the way that they beat us in the last game, and we make a good save there to keep it out and keep it 1-0. 2 all on aggregate, but it is an action-packed game, boys and girls. They are coming at us now, and I'm thinking if we survive this highlight, I'm going to move it back. I am going to move it back. I'm going down to the CDM formation. Saleh can be... I'm going to play him as a deep line play. Actually, I'm going to switch these boys around. Deep line playmaker there. Grant as the Mazzala on attack, and then I like a halfback, so we're playing Tillman as a halfback. And I just feel like we need to take a little bit more control and maybe a little bit more caution as we go throughout this game. Slightly more direct passing. I don't actually want to do that. I just want it to be, the same as what we normally do. Sorry, I don't think I've actually used this tactic for ages, so it is slightly different to what we do here. So step up that line of engagement. I don't feel like that's an issue. We don't step up more anymore. So, oh my gosh, this is clearly well prepared for this crucial game, the most important game of our series so far. I mean, it was the semi-final against Inter. By the way, we lost to Inter in the semi-final 2 years ago. Greg Grant. But, of course, we ended up losing. So if we beat them, versus them in the Champions League final, it would be quite poetic and quite nice to see. Great chance for us there once again. Greg Grant, I think that was after we'd put him into that Mazzala role, still clearly creating some opportunities. And I hope that this just shores us up defensively a little bit more, slows down the rain of opportunities that seems to be happening, and means that when there are opportunities, and we're not seeing the Bayern ones. There we go, we do win the ball back. And we have space down this right-hand side. Barroso, who I've been saying is a very good player, does lose the ball, but it's in their half. And if they do something hasty, if they just try and clear it, they try and pass it, we tackle them, could very easily be our chance. It's not seeming to happen right now. Tillman trying to take him down, he cannot get to him. It comes in, and they put it into the mixer, and they put it in the back of the net. I don't think he's offside. The flag is up on the right-hand side. I think he's on. We're going to pray that it is disallowed. It is! Well, I mean, that's a surprise and a half to me. That looks very onside. It's nice to see Bayern getting one too. I mean, I'm still not convinced by, like, the lines show a good level of thickness between them, but that looked close, even with the lines there. Okay, it's offside. We'll take it. No more shots really coming our way since the first beratement of chances coming, but this could actually change it. This could be the highlight. Cavalier. Well, he's offside, to be fair, but oh my gosh, that's a shank. That's a shank and a half. I'm starting to think maybe he's done his job and Gillum can come on to get his eighth goal too. It's them on the ball down the right-hand side now. It's not ideal for them to have their second leg because, you know, if it goes to extra time, they've got the home advantage. But it seems like we're playing just as well as we did at home when we are away from home. Greg Grant puts it in the back of the net, but is he offside? Why is it offside coming into this game so much? I think he is. Please, Greg Grant, be on. It is offside. What is this? The linesman. I mean, to be fair, actually, it's not the linesman. It's the players. The players are literally just going offside left, right, and centre in this matchup between these two sides. I don't know. It must be high lines of engagement, both of them. But we'll focus on this next highlight, which is coming our way. Don't be offside this time, please, lads. Webster into Kurz. Kurz moves it into Barroso, who kind of can't do a lot with that, and Greg Grant tries to do something with, again, not a very easy ball to deal with, and that time it's not offside. I mean, I could panic, and, well, it's not really panicking to move back to the formation that we always use. I'm not going to be hasty and do it within this first half. I am going to change it at... I should have been hasty. 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 Boys and girls, I should have been hasty. There's nothing wrong with that one. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that one. It's 2-1. 4-2 on aggregate. We are 2 goals down. We are in a worse position than we were at the start of this game. And obviously, a worse position than we were, 5 minutes ago. Just feels like it slipped out of our hands out of nowhere there. And now I'm thinking this formation needs to come out. And in fact, it is going to be coming out. High line of engagement. Step up more. I do like the step up more for this because we're going more attacking, so it makes sense. Grant's got to go in there. Saleh he's got to be on the pitch. He does, but he's not really the Mazzala. So I'm gonna take him off and bring Hernandez, who, by the way, I've mentioned before, insane player, should be starting, is only not starting because we have other insane players. How we're not going all the way to this Champions League final, I do not know. But let's say you've been terrible, sort it out. And let's see what the reaction is in the second half. We need goals immediately, straight away. At the very least, a highlight, boys. 55 minutes gone, we are on attacking mentality. We're just kind of pumping everything forward, and it looks like we have a highlight here. As Barroso runs down the line, Pieter can't get his head onto it with the defenders heading it out quite comfortably, but we still have the opportunity. Greg Grant puts it in, and that is Greg Grant doing Greg Grant things. And with 35 minutes left to play, we just need one more goal to take it to extra time now. And, I mean... Well, what? 15, 20 in-game minutes ago, we were hoping to, take this over within normal time, but now extra time sounds like an absolutely beautiful thing to us. Pieter having one of the worst games of his life, and their chance coming again. Done, collects. Yes, that's what we like to be seeing. This could be our opportunity now. Pieter, this might be your last contribution if you don't do something here. Can bring Cavalier into that left-hand side and get Gillum on. Fresh legs up top would be nice. But here is Willens. Greg Grant, he's going to find someone. He absolutely is. It's blocked off the line? I have no idea, but it's not gone in is the important thing. Saleh to put the ball in. As I said, we scored. So we have scored here to make it 4-4 on aggregate. 3-2 on the night. And the question is, do we keep the intense attacking play up? Yes is the answer. And we're bringing off Pieter. Imagine if we brought on McKinstry. He has not made any appearances this season, by the way, apart from one off the bench in the Viaplay Cup and the Champions League. Probably in a knockout, not in the knockout stages, sorry, probably in an early stage game. I am going to do what I said, Gillum on and Cavalier off. And then, I feel like I should use another substitute. I'm trying not to, though. I'm trying not to force myself to make substitutes if I don't think anything's really wrong. So we'll do that for now. I feel like that is partially my problem. I make a lot of subs when it's potentially not necessary. And I think this is a situation where it's not necessary. Don't score from a free kick. Don't score from a free kick. We're not even like hoping this is our highlight. We know it's their highlight. We just want it to go over. Crossbar. That's gone over. That is technically over. It's not in the goal. So that's all we care about there. 10 minutes to go until we get to extra time. And I'm still on an attacking mentality, and we're getting some tired legs out there. And I think that is a cue to bring some people on. Hassan is going to come on, and he's looking aggressive. I'm not going to whinge too much about that. Gaspar's also coming on that right hand side. Probably will work well as a support player. Barroso more of an attacking winger. So we might connect some opportunities here. Not scoring. Again off the crossbar. No, that one is saved. That one's a very, very good save. But we need to get the ball down the other end. We need to get one more chance. We need to just... If we score in the last couple of minutes, I feel like it's ours. Gillum. Oh, I thought he actually had the legs there for a second. One more highlight before extra time. Here it is. Greg Grant. Into Cavalier. Into Webster. Gillum plays it back into Webster. He's holding on to it for a little bit too long. And we play it back to Willens. The chance is not over. Greg Grant. Put it into the mixer. Oh, it's collected easily by the player in between the sticks of the Bayern Munich side. And if they score now, then obviously our party's completely over. And we're not going through to the Champions League final with any chances. We thought that we could be going through a second ago, but now we think that they could be going through with their ball into the mixer, blaze it back, and done. I mean, you didn't cover yourself in glory with getting that out, and it's still not out, and we finally have gotten it out. But that was back and forth. I thought that was going to be our opportunity. And actually, it's not over. Hernandez has the ball. And if this is going to end up being our goal, this is a dramatic way to do it. Plays it in. Penalty? No, Greg Grant. Into Saleh. Saleh has it. Into Greg Grant. Over into Willens. And the highlight continues. Willens. Saleh. Greg Grant. Hernandez. Oh, off the woodwork. And that was an incredible way to end the regulation time. Are we going to see anything more? Was that all she wrote? And are we going to extra time to potentially make it to the Champions League final? Yep, that's what's happening. I'm happy that I made those subs because people are getting tired as we have seen. I am happy with the way things are going, and I am thinking we stay on this mentality. I want to keep Greg on for as long as I physically can because we know how incredible he is, but he always gets tired around this stage of a game, the end of a game. He is normally absolutely knackered. So extra time might be a push for him, but we'll see how we go. 5 minutes gone, and we do have a lot of subs to give. But potentially, at some points, we're going to have to start thinking about penalties. And we would want Greg Grant taking one. We're ignoring the fact that they almost scored a bicycle kick there. We would want Greg Grant to take one. So keeping him on is probably something that I'm going to be trying to do. 2 minutes of additional time, a flyby, and we're into the last quarter, last 15 of extra time. I do think we should actually be going for this winner. But I do have half an eye on penalties. I just don't know if we win penalties, eh? Okay, well, he's not good at penalties. So let's move Saleh into left back and then get a new central midfielder on. Let's get Brady on, and then that is 5. We have one more sub to give. Cavalier. He's got 12 penalty taking. He arguably should be our penalty taker. Well, actually, Greg Grant has 12 too, and better like composure and finishing. So I don't really want to take him off. I do want to change it up attacking wise. Steele's the man that I'd like to bring on. I don't actually know how I'd be able to do that, to be fair, actually. And with only 9 penalty taking, that doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe just leave it like that for now. I do still have a stoppage if I need it. But we have a highlight if we want it. Webster. It's a make a substitute fake highlight. You can't get me excited like that in a semi-final that is crucial to our club in the way that this is, because it's not a real highlight Football Manager. It needs to be fixed. And they have the ball, and I'm going to be slightly nervous. But we've actually won it back, and I'm going to get slightly hyped. And they've got the ball, and I'm going to be slightly nervous. But I know it's not going to lead to a goal. It's blazes over the bar. 8 minutes into the 100, or past 100, sorry. 10 minutes to go in this one, and it's looking more and more like penalties unless we see something in the last couple of seconds. I am going to try and stop running at defence and be more... No, I'm going to keep running at defence. Be more direct and try and shock them by going narrow to end it. But I think we could be going to pens, and perhaps I should be making a substitute with that in mind. McKinstry as 6. Okay, well, let's hover over people. Longridge as... Where is it? 6. Okay, yeah. Leicester... I'm checking everyone. This is how desperate I am. 7. Favoretto, 12. He should be on the pitch. Dredge, I assume pretty low too. Yeah, 4. Okay, well, I don't know who I take off. Willens as 6. Do I just put Favoretto at right back for a couple of minutes? Brady at left back, with right back for a couple of minutes. I think that's the play. And just have it one better... No, they're going to play down the right-hand side. No, Gillum, do it, Gillum has sent us into the Champions League final with 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Sure, okay, now I regret making the substitution for who made that mistake. Now I regret making that substitution for the because we need another. You know what I'm trying to say here. Okay, well Brady will go there. Favoretto in here. They can't actually play there. Gaspar can actually play in there. He can. There we go. Let's play him as a ball-winning midfielder, and then Cavalier can stay left wing. You're a ball-winning midfielder too. Why not? And Greg Grant is a Mazzala on support. And then the entire mentality is very defensive. We are time wasting as much as physically possible. Short passing, hold on to it, do not lose it, and win this game at all costs, boys and girls. 2 minutes to go, 1 minute to go. We're into the Champions League final. We have made it to the Champions League final. And oh my goodness, I hope that we win it. Gillum. Yeah, I'm not going to say you should have started, because I'm not sure if you would have scored if it wasn't for the fact that you came off the bench and were fresh and had all that pace to go past the goalkeeper and put it into the back of the net in the 121st minute to send Queen's Park to their first ever Champions League final in this save. And in real life too, I believe. I'm so happy we're finally making it there. And for me, I'm going to bed. And this is going to be all I'm going to think about at work tomorrow. And all I'm going to think about as I'm trying to go to sleep tonight. And you guys are going to see it in an instant. Queen's Park to versus Inter, who are currently second in the Serie A. And we lost to in the semi-final, which I have you remember, I feel like we should have won. The 2-1... You're telling me we can't look at those to scout. Okay, well that's handy. But I remember feeling like we really should have won them based upon XG. And we have the chance to win a Champions League, and we're Spain in front of 68,000 people to take the Champions League to Scotland. I'm clearly chuffed. And the Scottish Cup finals coming up too. So I mean, if we lose the Champions League, at least we have that back to fall back onto. A bit of a celebration before the Champions League final against Inter Milan. Grant has won the Players' Player of the Season, which is brilliant to see. But you want to know how the season ended up going. Of course, we won it, and we ended up doing it with 0 losses, 3 draws, 35 wins, 108 points. We are incredible, and the best team in Scotland that has ever existed. I'm just putting it out there. Sorry, Celtic and Rangers. In the Champions League, of course, in the final against Inter Milan, coming in just a second. Scottish Cup, we managed to win against Rangers. 3-0 win in the final. No goals for Grant, but a goal for Cavalier and 2 for Millwood, who has gotten injured. But let's go over the end of season awards in general, just to, be happy for a bit. 25 goals, 7 assists, and 28 appearances. No wonder Greg Grant is the player of the season and the top goal scorer. He is the young player of the year, Kurz. I would absolutely have given that to him too. 12 goals, 4 assists, and 34 appearances. Outrageous performance from him this year. He's the Football Writers' young player of the season, Saleh, who again, I feel like is deserved, but I would have gone Kurz, personally, but Saleh definitely up there too. But Kurz, 7.5, 7.6. I can understand. Gaspar wins the goal of the season. I want to say like the third year in a row we've won goal of the season. I feel like he's won it before Saleh has won it. Yeah, Gaspar has won it. That's right. I thought so. There we go. I'm the manager of the season. Beautiful to see. And team of the season is us. But again, does not have Greg Grant in there, which is always confusing to me. But all right, we ignore it. Pina Hernandez, who only just joined. I mean, would have given that to Thielman before I gave it to him. But okay. Gillam, Saleh, our left back from Turkey. Webster, Kurz, Willand, and Dunn. And then the awards for the season, all going Grant, Saleh, and then Kurz. Yeah, I can back that. Let's jump into the last game of the season, which is the Champions League final. It's got to be done. And fingers crossed, that's a one. We've finally made it. Champions League final. I mean, I've been hyping up for so long. You know it was coming. And actually, my microphone's not quite in the right position, so I'm gonna move it. There we go. And you just probably heard a gigantic noise. Anyway, this is how we got here. RB Leipzig 6-1, Queen's Park versus Barcelona 4-3, a final minute goal from Gillam to send us through an extra time against Bayern Munich, and now we're versing Inter, who knocked us out, 2 seasons ago in the semi-final, 4-5, and I really did feel like we could beat them. They have just finished second in the Serie A. Can we manage to beat them? Seeing as this could be the last ever game of this save, let's go over the boys that are going to be playing for us. Gillam is starting up top after scoring in that game against Bayern Munich. I don't know how I could not. £64 million from Leicester, and he has played 1 season of great football for us. Pina, on the left-hand side, has come in for £56 million from FC Porto and been a star on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, we have a tired Barroso, who has just come back from injury, but a youngster with a huge future from Porto, who potentially is going to help us win tonight. Saleh at central midfield, who came in for just £7 million from a Swiss side and has gone from the left back of dreams to the central midfielder of dreams, and he has played incredibly well this season for us. Thielman, the Rock at CDM, running up, scoring goals, 12 and 6 assists in the league. That is incredible. He is a great player too. Willand, the World Cup winner at right back, who came in for just £15 million from Brazil. It wouldn't be an FM team without a Brazilian wonder kid in there. 3 mil for Thielman, by the way, sorry. Kurz starting the centre-back alongside... Well, sorry, actually. Let's talk about Kurz. £30 million from Stuttgart. Amazing stats. 6'5". Great player. Alongside Webster. Not that man. Webster is going to be starting for us because we brought him in for £30 million. Liverpool did not want him, but we saw straight away the greatness that was within this man. Incredible stats, 28 years of age. The Welsh legend, Brad Webster, is starting for us. In left back, we still don't know how to say his name, but it is a Turkish left back who came in for £59 million from Stuttgart. A great relationship with Kurz as a result, and playing wonderful football this season. And last but not least, Dunn. In between the sticks, saving us many, many times. £30 million, could eventually rise to 35. Taking over from McKenna, who is the only OG still knocking about in our club continuously the whole time, aside from McKinstry, who is, of course, taken a stint away, but just come back. Cameron Bruce, this is for you, even though you left at the start of this season because you were upset about game time. And, of course, the best player that has ever played Football Manager ever, Greg Grant, an elite forward that we brought in for £71 million. But oh my goodness, he has paid us back in so many ways. Can he pay us back, despite the fact that apparently he needs a rest for the Champions League final? He is the captain. This is the tactic. And we are playing against Inter Milan in Madrid, which, by the way, of course, is the team that continuously kept beating us in the Champions League semi-finals, quarter-finals. So this would be a beautiful place to do it. It's the Champions League final, boys and girls. Gillam, Pina, Grant, Saleh. Stacked bench, by the way, as well. Like, incredible players ready to go. Hernandez, Steele, Cavalier, Brady, Dredge. Even the centre-back, of course, Hassan, who was just on the bench. And we're coming against Espana, one of our former players. Pausino, who was a good centre-back. But I'm going to be honest. I just don't see a lot happening here that is making me think we're going to bottle this game. I think we have it. We're starting with the normal formation that has been winning us games all season long in the hopes that we can start well. If we need to, we'll move on to a different formation. But the highlight comes immediately, and that's Greg Grant putting in heart within the first couple of seconds, trying to win the ball, doesn't quite get it, and they keep a hold of it, and actually Espana tries to find a ball through and does find it through, and this is their highlight to start off with. Webster clearing it out, and the highlight continues. They pick it back up, cut inside, go for the shot, but Dunn collects and takes it in, and an early opportunity for Inter Milan. Does look like not a bad opportunity, but we don't get too nervous about that. It's the first chance, you never know. They could have just gotten lucky from kickoff, but they have the ball once again for the second highlight. It is on that right-hand side of ours, and Willens doesn't get it back, but eventually it comes to Webster, who kind of flicks it all the way back to Dunn. I have no idea how he's gotten that much power onto it, but it's worked. And here is Greg Grant, throw on goal, and he shoots it just wide of the post. That is our man. That is going to score the goal to win us the Champions League here. Dunn with an incredible ball over the top. I love that he's looking for those wide options, and it's Kurz. We know how good he is from corners. We just saw that he scored 12 goals in the league this year, and that's because he is a 6'5", absolute brick. Rob Holding quote, I don't like to swear in my videos, but you know what I'm talking about. He is an incredible player, and he can hit it into the back of the net from anywhere, and he seems to do it left, right, and centre. He did it in the game against, I think it was Webster actually, that did it in the game against Bayern, but clearly our centre-backs are a serious target from those corners, and we've managed to nod one into the back of the net to make it 1-0 on the night. Not a whole lot more to talk about in terms of stats, despite the fact that actually we have 55% possession, which is normally not the way these Champions League games go. For some reason, we normally have more shots, but hugely lower possession. But it's looking like we're the better side out here. More shots, more possession, and 1 goal. And here is Pina standing over a free kick. He is going to go for it, and it is a good save, to be fair. But, I mean, I would normally say this isn't a real highlight, but this is a corner. And we know what we can get from corners. Pina to whip it in. He doesn't find anyone. It's nodding around. It does get headed out, and I assume that's the end of the highlight as Barroso picks it up, gets into Salia. It's continuing for a while, and maybe we are seeing something else happen. As Kurz has it, plays it over. Gillam can't get onto it, and it goes to Inter Milan. I want to say Inter Miami for some reason with all the messy stuff going on. Gillam. I thought he did it. I thought he had done it. He pounced on a defender's mistake in the last game against Bayern Munich. He can't do it there. But Kurz, he can't even do it. Thielmann, it's wide. I don't know why it's sounding so disheartened. We're still winning, but mate, that was a great opportunity. Good save by the goalkeeper, I guess. Tight angle. But I don't know. I feel like he potentially could have done a wee bit better there. We win the ball through Salah, and our Gillam is running down the left-hand side. Immediately loses it again, but we win it back immediately with our left back. Barroso's through, and despite the injury, he has put it in the back of the net. Now, if this is 2-0, this is an incredible start to this game in the first half. I do think he was inching offside. We will see from VAR. It is a goal, and Barroso has managed to score despite the fact that he is still very tired, very injured, and such a young man. But he has gotten an assist from the wonderful Greg Grant. The goalkeeper has gone the wrong way, and it is 2-0, and we're not even feeling the nerves anymore. We feel confident. We feel comfortable. We are the best team in the world. Do not spoil the party right now. Espana, our former player, running with the ball, trying to find a player in the mixer. They have a long shot opportunity. That is not a pen. If that is a pen, I feel like that was out of the box. That would be not a good way. It's a pen. It's a pen. It's a pen. And it is Javi Guerra against Dunn. Done. Do it for us. 2-0 at halftime is an incredible score. 2-1 is what it is, though. Okay, that's a lifeline that we didn't need to give. We were excited. That football manager absolutely heard me saying that it's over and done with. And apparently it's not. 2-1. Okay, well, I'm still delighted with the performance so far. Incredible stuff. We conceded an unlucky penalty, which I would say was edge of the box. But hey, it didn't quite go our way. And we come straight out of the box with another attack. Gillam puts it in the back of the net. Boys and girls, we're winning the Champions League. Gillam, that is the reason why we start him. Barroso, that is the reason why we play him despite the fact he is injured. And that is the reason we are the best club in the world. Queen's Park is the best club in the world. It only takes you about 12 years to get here. How many seasons? What episode is this? I feel like this is episode number 12. I want to say 12. Or is it 13? No, it's 13. We're about to finish it on unlucky number 13. Unlucky for some, but certainly not unlucky for us. Boys and girls, 3-1 up. I mean, well, that's just a reverse 13, isn't it? It's fate. And tactical substitutions might be needing to be made, because we've gotten comfortable before and seen it slip away. Let's not have it happen again today. Barroso, an incredible performance, an absolutely beautiful one, but Gaspar is coming on. It was anxious, but I think it's just going to need a couple of minutes out there to get rid of his nerves. Tillman, we love him, but he is looking nervous, and we want Brady in for the more stamina in the midfield, I guess. Saleh puts one in, and it comes to our left back, comes back to Gillum, and Gillum puts it in. I mean, if it wasn't already confirmed, it's confirmed now. The Inter fans are just devastated, but the Scottish fans are thrilled. We have taken over Glasgow. We have taken over Scotland. We have taken over Europe now. And I mean, I guess the FIFA Club World Cup would be coming at some point eventually, but this is the end of the road. And we're just doing it with cherries upon cherries upon cherries on top. Greg Grant, get in on the scoring. I mean, to be fair, he has lost it and immediately given them a very good opportunity to score here from a counter-attack. Willen's trying to win it back, and they cross it over. A good shooting opportunity might open up, and it does, and it comes off the crossbar. And it's a reminder that this is still potentially the second best team in world football, getting into the final of the Champions League recently. So, I mean, this isn't their first time in this situation, but it is for us. But we look comfortable. 72 minutes gone, and more substitutes are probably going to need to take place. And the question is, when does McKinstry and McKenna come on? I mean, I wouldn't if it wasn't so comfortable. So the last sub I'm going to make before that is I'm going to bring off... we don't really have another left back. Let's bring off Saleh then. Hernandez on. But, I mean, with a couple minutes ago, I think it would be rude not to. Callum McKenna has been an incredible player this entire save. And Hernandez nearly scoring there. He was our first choice goalkeeper for just about the entire time, and has only just been overtaken by the fact that Football Manager literally has not given him a high potential. And if we wanted to go to the next stage, Dunn needed to come in. But he is a legend. McKinstry, an icon, scoring the goal in the last second, well, not the last second, in the 70th-ish minute against Liverpool to win us the Europa League all those seasons ago. Has left the club, but come back on a free because he loves it and he wants to see us lifting the title. And that is exactly what he's going to see us doing. It's McKinstry. It is McKenna on the pitch. It is Greg Grant about to lift the trophy. Queen's Park have won the Champions League. And this is the best save I've ever done on Football Manager. Boys and girls, thank you so much for coming along the ride with me. I am so proud of the fact that we've finally made it here. I will admit, I think it has taken a wee bit longer than it necessarily needed to. But there is the fireworks. There is Greg up the front. There's McKenna doing a dance. McKinstry will be somewhere in there. Next season, hopefully, we can actually see who McKinstry is a little bit better with improved graphics. But we're going around. We're just doing our victory lap. Even I'm chilling out there. Champions League is ours, and this save has come to an end. Boys and girls, we're going to have to go over the season review to end it all, and of course that manager timeline, so don't go anywhere. We're going to simulate forward to see exactly that. We might be getting some awards in the Champions League too. I don't know, I mean, I'm potentially going to do another season simulation, so you might see, something else, but I mean, this feels like the right place to end it. Episode number 13. The Champions League. McKenna getting the medal. McKinstry, please tell me he's got the medal. He came onto the pitch. Yes, McKinstry's got the medal. All these boys have got the medal. Cavalier's happy to stay at the club. And you know what? Even though it's not actually, he still doesn't want to negotiate. Nice. Everyone's happy to stay at the club now. Obviously, you'd expect that. And we are ecstatic that we won. And you only get 1.1. Oh, that's from television revenue. 17 mil for winning the Champions League. And yet our financial situation is probably still a net negative from this season if it wasn't for us always selling players. Well, season review coming soon. And the end of season, going over the manager timeline. It's a long episode, boys and girls, but I hope it's worth it. Stick around for that. Very quickly, we have the Golden Boot winner, which of course isn't Greg Grant, but he's up there just to, shout him out. Barroso wins the Young Player of the Season, and I'm not surprised by that at all after his performance in the final, despite being taken off. Gillum, Saleh, Barroso, Kurz, Webster, and of course our left back. No Greg Grant in the best team, but we get player of the month, nice, but that's all the awards we're getting in the Champions League, I guess. Season review, I'm teasing it. It's coming very soon. Stick around. Well, what a year. And what a way to end it, actually. I'll talk for a second about continuing, but no, this feels right. Unbeaten in the league. We won the Champions League for the first time. Scottish Cup and Viaplay Cup. We've won every single thing we possibly can with only losses in the Champions League. That is insane. Gillam is the best signing of the season, which, I mean, you can say that again after scoring that goal in the game against Bayern Munich to send us through to the final. And actually, that is in this Champions League run. What a run it was in the end. We did get a very, very good draw to start off with. And actually, we lost to Inter early on in the group stage. I did not realise that. So the fact that we have bounced back in that fashion to beat them 4-1, incredible. 11-0 win, 10-2 win, and lots of money coming into the club, which is what you want to see after we have for years been struggling. Currently a 4.5-star worldwide reputation team. Greg Grant, of course, after winning the World Ballon d'Or, he has got to be the most shirt sales. And this is how we lined up. Cavalier, Pina, Grant, Oban, who has left the club, of course, Saleh, Tillman, Willens, Kurz, Webster, left back, and Dunn. Of course, if we didn't win that Champions League final, questions would have been raised about whether we should have sold Oban or not. But in the end, it's worked out fine. It's player of the season, Greg Grant. Could it be anyone else? Young player of the season, Saleh. Signing of the season, Gillam. Goal of the season to Gaspar. Top goal scorer, Greg Grant. Pina with the most assists. Player of the match awards, Greg Grant. And average rating to Greg Grant. Greg Grant is the legend of the save. We're going to go over the manager's timeline. And then, of course, the best 11 of this team. Let's take a look at how it all started. So, we got the job because, I kind of forced it. That's how Football Manager works, isn't it? And what did we do? We bought in, Craig Sebald, if you remember that, and then Alex Grieve. Craig Sebald, oh my goodness, go to start. Well, I guess I shouldn't be clicking on people. That's good to know. And then Alex Grieve, the New Zealander, and then we moved on. What did we do? We two big names, no price. We brought in Lee Irwin and Sawyers, who I guess were decent players for us. I became a part of the Hall of Fame by going on to bigger things, but we didn't win the Cinch Championship. We managed to come second, and then we went up in the playoffs, if you remember. I'm certain of that, absolutely certain of that. Clark Harris, I remember we signed him. Billy Dunn, a youngster. I mean, I don't know if that's very, very. We won the Viaplay Cup in our second season, did we? No, that's not the second season. 25-26 season. I guess that was our first real silverware. McKenna didn't scoop the next general award, but it was nominated highly, apparently. I guess that season I got the managerial award. That's nice. Where did we finish, though? We didn't win the league for a really long time. Oh, McKinstry won the player of the season. Did we sell any players for outrageous amounts of money? I mean, we splashed the cash with £12 million. Oh, Nade left for £15 million. I do remember that. I'm the manager of the year. 200 games in there. We brought in Josh Williams. That's not important. Top goal scorer? Who was our top goal scorer? Troy Parrott. That's right. And then we sold him for what, like £30 million? Young player of the season, Cameron Bruce. So sorry that you left at the end of this one. At the start of this one, sorry. Troy Parrott, £30 million, as you can see. Oh, Owen wasn't quite the player that we thought he was going to be, but I mean, we made a profit on him. Suarez scoring goals for fun. Top goal scorer of the season. Only 18 goals, to be fair. Absolutely terrible by our standards. Still not winning the game, the league, but finally won a European trophy. Europa League, beating Liverpool in the final, which was insane. Didn't deserve to do it. McKenna with an insane performance. If you want to go back and watch that video, it was a good one. Scottish Cup triumph, we managed to win that too. A double there. Still no league. But Greg Grant was signed, and that's where it all changed. Changed, boys and girls. We have finally managed to get the player of the year to Freeland. Good signing too. Good signing as well. Viaplay Cup that year, 400 games. Guys, it did take us a long time, but finally we won the Cinch Premiership in 2030-31, but we haven't let it go since then. We've just continued winning awards. Greg Grant's won the awards. We've won the league. We've continued winning the Cup. We are continuing to triumph. Greg Grant is continuing to just absolutely dominate. Again, another league win. Best of the best. Actually, to be fair, this was the year when Oban took over for 1 year, but then quickly fell all back Greg Grant's way with another league win, a Viaplay Cup win, and then this season, of course, the year that we have won the Cinch Premiership, the Scottish Cup, and, well, the Champions League. There we go. And, of course, Invincibles. And, of course, Greg Grant, 39 times. It scored 39 times in a season to break the records. I mean, it's Greg Grant. It's Greg Grant is all we care about in the save. And this is our best 11 in the end. McKenna in between the sticks. Yes, deserved, 100%. Willens, Kaiki, Webster, and Bruce. I think Colwell potentially should be in there instead of Webster, in my opinion. He played 4 great seasons for us. And Webster, he's only been hanging about for... No, 4-2? Nah, it's Webster. Nah, Webster. I agree. Greg Grant, Farrell. Farrell probably does deserve a place in there. Millwood, Gaspar, Cavalier, and Suarez. I'm getting a phone call. I'm ignoring it because this is important. Gaspar just can't be in there. It's got to be Oban in there. Greg Grant. Cavalier is generous too. Maybe McKinstry if we could get him in. Our midfielders weren't really the icons, to be fair. It was more of our attacking players. So I would say the only change I would make would be to bring in Oban, take Cavalier out, and I would take Gaspar out and bring in McKinstry. Those would be my changes. I know that wouldn't work perfectly for formation or the squad, but that's what I do. And that is how it ends. We will end this by looking at one person's face for one last time. My favourite person in the world. He doesn't even exist. Greg Grant. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new around here. Like this video if you enjoyed it. We will be starting our next journey in Football Manager with a retro save if I can finally work out how to do it. I've been looking forward to doing that for quite some time, and I'm hoping that I can get that set up with all the new gens coming in, like the Messis, the Ronaldos, and all the youngsters, Alexander Arnold, all coming through so that we can have a cool save. I don't know who I'll be doing it with yet, but that is the plan. For now, goodbye, Greg Grant, and thank you all for watching.